A quiet street in Utica, New York. Police tape flutters against the summer breeze. A black SUV sits crooked by the tree line. Inside, blood, a phone, a lifeless body partly covered with a sheet of pink cloth. An officer mutters, "She's just a kid." No one yet knows her name. Not the story. Not the horror that began the night before. The girl. By noon, identification arrives. Her name is Bianca Michelle Devins, 17 years old, an art student, a sister, a daughter, an online soul who lived half her life in color and half behind a glowing screen. To her followers, Bianca was soft-spoken, funny, creative. She posted drawings, pastel selfies, and quotes about surviving anxiety. The internet was her diary, and thousands quietly read along. Like many teenagers, Bianca wandered through Discord servers and small communities that promised friendship. That's where she met a young man who seemed protective and gentle. He joined her family for dinner, drove her to art shows, spoke politely to her mother. To everyone else, he looked like a friend. To Bianca, perhaps a companion. To him, she was possession wrapped in affection. That Saturday, Bianca left home for a concert in New York City. She texted her mom, "I'll be home tomorrow morning. Don't wait up." The concert was by Nicole Dollanganger, an artist whose lyrics blend love and tragedy. Witnesses later recalled Bianca laughing, swaying to the music. Her friend beside her stayed quiet, watching her more than the stage. When the show ended around midnight, they began the long drive back toward Utica. Messages recovered later show tension during that ride. He accused her of talking to someone else. Bianca, tired, told him she wanted space. Dashcam lights caught the car pulling to a stop on Post Street, an isolated dead end lined with trees. The conversation turned into shouting, and then silence. What happened next lasted seconds, but would echo for years. Not long after sunrise, users on Discord and 4chan began sharing a picture, graphic, disturbing. A caption read, "I'm sorry, B." Most thought it was a prank. Others traced the metadata, realized it came from Utica. Within an hour, police received dozens of calls from strangers begging them to check a location on Post Street. When officers arrived, they found exactly what the photo showed. The investigation begins. Detectives sealed the scene, collecting a knife, 2 phones, and a camera card. The suspect, badly injured from a self-inflicted wound, was found beside the car. He was rushed to the hospital under guard, still conscious. On the seat next to him lay a note that read, "I'm sorry." Forensic analysts worked quickly. Timestamps on the uploads, fingerprints on the blade, blood spatter angles. Lab reports confirmed the timeline. Bianca's injuries showed she never had a chance to escape. Blood spatter analysis indicated she was attacked from behind. Her phone showed attempts to dial for help that never connected. The camera recovered in the car contained several images, some of Bianca smiling at the concert, others from the following morning, evidence of how quickly a normal night dissolved into tragedy. Investigators later said the hardest part wasn't what they found. It was knowing the world had seen it first. The suspect found on crime site had a phone beside him. His phone contained deleted photos and a video that documented the aftermath. Each file helped rebuild the final hour of Bianca's life. Cybercrime units followed the Discord server logs. The same account that posted the image also sent chilling messages to several friends. "I did it." The IP address matched the wounded man in custody, Brandon Andrew Clark, 21 years old, from Cicero, New York. He wasn't a stranger. He'd been Bianca's close online companion for months. He had even met her family. Police pieced together his movements. He drove Bianca to the concert. He took photos with her hours before the murder. He uploaded the images immediately after. What began as friendship had curdled into control, jealousy, and a final, violent claim of ownership. The psychology behind the obsession. Investigators later described Clark as intelligent yet emotionally stunted, someone who equated rejection with humiliation. On social media, he portrayed himself as heartbroken, desperate for validation. Psychologists who reviewed the case called it a textbook collision of narcissism and digital dependency. In Clark's mind, if Bianca wouldn't belong to him in life, he would define her story in death. He turned the internet, the place she loved most, into a stage for his confession. Within days, justice for Bianca trended worldwide. News outlets replayed her pastel selfies beside headlines about the Instagram murder. Some social media users exploited the tragedy, Others fought to have the images removed. Her family begged people to remember her art, not the photograph. Her mother wrote online, "Bianca's memory is not the horror you saw. She was light. She was music." Lawmakers used the case to question how platforms handle violent content. For a brief moment, the world faced its reflection, how easily empathy is lost behind screens. Brandon Clark was charged with second-degree murder. In court, he appeared quiet, almost detached. Prosecutors presented digital forensics, the recovered video, and the confession he posted minutes after the killing. At one point, he told the judge, "I thought I could control everything. I was wrong." The judge called his actions pure cruelty performed for attention. He was sentenced to 25 years to life in prison. Aftermath. Bianca's hometown filled with murals painted in her favorite colors, lavender and pink. Her family started a foundation promoting mental health awareness and safe internet education. They refused to let her story end with violence. For investigators, the case became a warning about modern obsession, how admiration can rot into entitlement, and how technology can magnify that dissent. Closing reflection. Bianca Devins was only 17. She loved art, soft music, and the idea that the internet could connect hearts. Instead, it connected her to someone who saw affection as ownership. Her story forces a question. When our lives are lived online, how much of our safety do we surrender to those who watch us through screens? In the end, Bianca's tragedy wasn't filmed for fame. It was documented as a mirror, reflecting a digital age where love, envy, and violence coexist at the tap of a screen. May her memory remind us that behind every username is a human being who deserves to be safe, seen, and alive.